Hey Patreon, once again guys, thank you for your support. So I recently ran into this play and the opponent was using this. He was blending into his scheme, but it was his money play. He ran this probably maybe about like 5, 6, 7 times, almost 10 times against me, and I had a very hard time stopping it. So immediately after I played this guy, I jumped in the lab to try to figure out how to stop it, and I found myself a defense that works the best for this particular play and the way he was setting it up, using the Panthers defense, which essentially is the defense I've been running. In particular, it's going to be the 3-3 penny cover 3 match, and it's the one cover 3 where you have the outside linebacker that's dropping back into like a zone drop type stuff. Now the way he ran the play, it was on the Lions Raiders playbook. He would take his running back and streak the running back up instead of the flat. So what he did is he gave himself like a little seam route that he actually can do. So let's go ahead and show you some how this play actually works and sets up. Basically, this guy motions over, and he comes over and then kind of does a outside route. Tight end actually comes over the middle of the field and actually does an in route. This running back will come in between those two and actually cut the seam, and then you have a whip on the inside. There's a fly out here that really is just pushing up deep thirds. Really, it wasn't something he was looking to, and all the different the different times he threw this, he threw 4 different routes, but he never threw that route. So the guy motions over, and basically you've got this little inside whip, you've got this post, that's the deadly stuff, and then you got a little check down, and then sometimes with the right positioning you can go ahead and throw this little motion streak that comes out. The whip is really devastating because against man coverage it always gets leverage and gets inside. Let's see what this is. The next play right here. Here's I actually caught the defender flat-footed, and there's no safety help over the top. So I think I take a shot up top right here. So you can see how that guy got out of position. So you got a really fast wide receiver. You can get yourself an opportunity for a one play touchdown. Let's see if this is the deep end. Okay, so you can see I've got the little whip, and then I've got this post route. The post route was what was really killing me in the game. He'd actually just throw that post route. And it got to a certain point that I had to manually take away the post route, and that's going to be how we're going to set this defense up. I think this is the seam route right here with the running back. So that was the thing too, that he was checking down to the seam. So it was a situation where he had to be in 3 spots with your user at once, and it was very, very difficult to stop this play. So I ran it a couple different times. It's like you almost get tempted to kind of throw this stuff into your scheme or use a custom playbook. It is a fairly difficult offense to actually stop. So you're going to see me run this a couple more times, and then I'm going to go ahead and jump into how I developed defense, or at least gave yourself a defensive scheme where you could hopefully get someone that actually will make a bad decision and give yourself an opportunity to go and stop that. So I started looking around at the 3-3, and I was looking for someone that would drop off the defensive line to take away that running back seam route, because that's pretty annoying to try to stop that. But I also wanted to get something that was going to go ahead and drop that motion route, and then I'd pretty much worry about this side of the field where you have that little whip. I wanted to worry about that with my user on the other side of the field. So I started playing around. We had to find match coverages. And the play that I settled in on is the cover 3 match out of this 3-3-5 penny coverage. And what I did is I flipped the plays, so the zone drop is going to be by the running back drop. So that's one thing this guy that was doing against me, he was flipping this play. So you had to kind of adjust to it, but you want to be able to make a fast adjustment against your opponent, so you really can't. So he can't really pick up in your tendencies, or you can adjust quick enough so that he doesn't have plenty of time to do that. So let's take a look at the first route. I had a couple situations where he was catching routes right here with this running back, or this motion wide receiver. He would throw it early, and the defender wouldn't play it because it was playing like a cover 2 out there. So with a cover 3, you actually have 2 defenders who will actually float into that zone and take that away. So that's what I like about this cover 3 match. They'll take that away, so you don't really have to worry about the guy. You can see you've got a deep zone, so if this guy throws early, there's going to be a defender in the area. If he throws late, you got a defender that's going to be over the top of it. So that takes care of that route too, because you got like a little seam flat that's going to go ahead and play the outside. Next route we'll take a look at is going to be the running back route, I believe, which was constantly getting open. And what this zone drop does is this guy kind of carries and comes in, but then he'll come back again and go into the passing lane. So watch what happens and how he kind of carries with this tight end, and it looks like it's going to be open because the guy's getting pulled out, but then he actually stops right there and actually goes ahead and picks off the ball with the seam route. So he does carry with the seam route. I think that you could probably throw it really super late, but most people are trying to get rid of the ball quick. They don't want to have to wait for the rush to come over. Now, one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to protect against the run, so I'm shifting my guys over, and then I'm going to user this guy. And then an adjustment I was doing is putting this guy into a spy, just so that when he comes in, he comes over the middle of the field. Now, there's going to be a gap in the coverage, but my goal was to user this guy. And I want to make sure I protect against that deep post that comes over the middle, because pretty much everything else is going to be locked down. The only route that I would worry about is just going to be that little whip route. So let's go ahead and take a look at this once again. You see the guy motioning over. So everything's locked up off the right side, and you can see right here that's where that little gap is right there. So how you really stop this is that you're going to have to user this guy down in the box where there's a little whip, and then once the whip gets past you, you want to go ahead and fall back into your zone to take away the deep post. That's like how you want to defend this based on the route combinations. Now I put the spy out there just so I have somebody that's going to play in the middle of the field and kind of muddy things up a little bit and make it so his progressions and reads are a little bit harder to do that. But even though he squeezed it in there with that pass, it's not necessarily the smart pass, because you're going to see later on in this footage right here that the defender actually gets in the way and actually goes ahead and picks it off. So our goal once again is to go ahead and user the one guy into the whip, and then kind of pull yourself out and actually play that little crosser. You can see right here, because he was late on his throw, he threw into the spy defender. So you could put the spy over here on this side. That way that guy kind of slides in there. But what I like about a spy on this side is that he kind of stops and slides over. So it's however you want to play it. I would say that if you're going to play down in the box with your hooks on the defender, you want to put a spy out there just so you have somebody over. So you can see how you can recover in this type of situation. Now right here I was actually using two controllers. It was really hard for me to manage two controllers. I had to pass the ball and actually do that, but I want to kind of show you how you can get yourself into that passing lane. You can take away two passing lanes by making sure that the right side of the field with that running back streak and also with that route combination off the left is pretty much all taken care of. So this is a pretty good this is a best defense I can think of. There's probably other ways to set this thing up, but I wanted to make sure it was a fast defense you can jump into, and you didn't really have to necessarily make any adjustments. For the most part, you just run the defense stock, and you just isolate your pants responsibilities. You take away the whip, and then go back into the deep crossing route, and kind of go from there. So once again, guys, thanks for support. Until next time.